Hey there, y'all. My name is Jenny, and I am out here on my Triumph Street Triple. This is a 2012 model year with the 675 engine. This is before they updated to the 765. And I'm going to give you all a quick little review through my home turf here in Long Beach, California. First thing you'll hear is that this bike is very much not stock. It has the most obnoxious exhaust in the history of exhausts. It's a Leo Vinci SBK, like, superbike exhaust. That's what they call it, a superbike exhaust. It's their model line, I think, but whatever. It's horribly obnoxious. It's very expensive, so I like to flex that I have it. And everybody tells me it sounds great, but it is horrible to live with, just going around town. And I'm sure it drives my neighbors absolutely crazy. The other thing I'd like to talk about with this specific bike before we get into it, well, my buttons aren't working, that's another thing. This bike is really high mileage and really clapped out. It is like 36,000 miles, which is pretty high for a motorcycle. And it feels every bit of 36,000 miles of abuse after 13 years. It is by no means a pristine show bike. I think the last video I made was on my Royal Enfield, which I bought brand new from showroom, because it was only like $4 grand. I paid a whopping $3,000 for this ratty Triumph, and that's about where it's at. It's a $3,000 Triumph Street Triple. So yeah, not stock. The fork seals have definitely been rebuilt. Well, the whole forks, I think. The suspension is all sorts of wonky. It is miserable to ride. Oh my god. It's not great. For city bumps, it's bad, but honestly, for highway stuff, it's even worse. You feel every single crack in the road. It wants to speed wobble really bad just because the front suspension and the rear just are not working together, and I can't figure out the right firmness, and the ride is crashy, and yeah. $3,000 high mileage Triumph Street Triple. That's what you're gonna get. City riding. I'm here in downtown Long Beach. It's a Monday afternoon, so it's kind of dead right now. Everybody's either at work or otherwise not out on Ocean Boulevard. And street manners, like I was whining about with the suspension, this thing is miserable in the city. Not just because it's clapped out. The steering on this bike, if I catch another red light, I'll show you. The lock to lock on the bike is so small. So low speed maneuvers are incredibly difficult. Now that does mean at high speed, especially in turning, it's really stable. But low speed is so strange. Here, I'll show you here at the stoplight. Coming to a stop here. Yeah, alright, ready? Look. Full lock left, full lock right. That is it. That's all you get. Good luck doing anything in a parking lot with that. It's very weird, especially on a standard, that it has basically the same turning radius as a Daytona 675, which, again, maybe that's a good thing if you really want it sporty, but I don't know. If I wanted the sport bike steering, I would have got the Daytona. I wanted a naked bike because I use this thing for commuting. I don't really commute far. A motorcycle is my only vehicle. And it's Southern California, so you don't need a car no matter what they tell you. It's sunny every day here. I'm going to stop to show you the brakes are spongy and squishy, which is a lot of fun. Pulling at the stoplight, I guess I'll talk about the dash. It's fine. It's not very exciting. This bike does rev really high, which is nice. As soon as we get it out here on the highway, I'll show you probably the best part about this bike, and that is the engine. I think the only reason that I would ever recommend this bike, or its brother, the Daytona, is for the engine. It is as good as everybody else says. Is it as good in every other way as everybody else says? No. spoilers, before I even reach the conclusion section, guess not really too much of a spoiler because I've been whining the whole time, I don't like this bike. I do not like the Street Triple. Maybe it is just this one. Like I said, it's clapped out. The suspension has definitely been rebuilt, and not rebuilt well. The gearbox shows its age. It's kind of clunky. I have no problem finding neutral, but I would not describe it as smooth. But let's turn onto the highway so you can see just how much power this thing has. It is absurd. It is so fast and so smooth at high RPM. I'm gonna ring out second. Watch this. I will redline second for it. I want you to see this blistering speed after all these bumps, which I'll whine about the suspension again. But yeah, check it. That exhaust is heavenly, if not obnoxiously loud. So yeah, quick bike. I don't think anybody has ever said that the Triumph Street Triple or the Daytona are slow bikes. As we get on the 710, there's always some freight traffic here as we're by the port here in Long Beach. But yeah, let me show you passing power, 5th gear, open it up. Really nice, very smooth, predictable power. It feels about as fast as the old R6 that I had. The difference is you don't have to rev this one out all the way. You get so much torque down low, which is so nice about the Triple. I feel like everybody said that. Everybody knows these Triples are amazing and have a ton of torque, and they're just great. No problem with the engine on this bike. I still just don't like it. The seat is fine. Comparing it like to the Yamaha MT-07 that I had, another naked bike, similar CCs, that seat was horrible. This, I can go for a few hours. I've driven it to like Joshua Tree and back, which is, yeah, like 4 hours on the road, which is fine and nice. Didn't really have a problem with that. Plenty comfortable. Worth mentioning, the fuel economy is not great on this bike. I get like 36 miles a gallon. That might be because of the exhaust and it not being tuned properly. I have no idea. This is an old bike. I didn't put the exhaust on. I have no idea if the sketchy Russian guy I bought it from has ever tuned it. Another thing are these mirrors. When I bought it, there were no mirrors. The sketchy Russian guy I bought it off of, he had taken the mirrors off because he said it let him lane split better. And the Sequoia, who won't let me through, but that's okay. That's fine. My exit is right here anyways. And then I do my little loop back. So yeah, might not be tuned. Not great fuel economy. Really loud. Backfires a lot. Oh, you can get it to really pop, especially when it's hot. If it gets hot out, oh my god, this thing loves to just pop, 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 pop. Little tunnel action for you there. The handling is really good. There are some pretty worn down Pilot Road 4s on this. I love all the Michelin Pilot series, the road ones. They're all so good. I run those on like any bike that I have to get a replacement tire on. Oh, ramp closed? Oh, that's no fun. Alright, well, this is a Willow, so I can get on over there instead. Got to terrorize some Northside Long Beach streets here. I don't really have too much to praise on this bike. It leaks oil. Of course it does, it's British. The first week I got it, we got a terrible amount of rain here in Long Beach, and the seal for the fuel tank failed and let a bunch of water in, and I didn't notice until I went to try and ride, and it just stalled out on me. So that was pleasant. Easy fix, I guess, but I had to pay somebody to clean out the tank and the fuel lines and stuff. Alright, let me show you this acceleration again. I'll do a second and third gear pull. Mostly safe. Never mind. Too much traffic. Too much traffic to do anything crazy. As far as commuting goes, though, it's actually really nice. It's a naked bike, so you're not going to get any like wind protection. However, the seating position angles you a little forward, which is actually a good thing, in that it kind of like buffs you against the wind. So no complaints there. This part of 710 is actually pretty smooth, so I can't whine about the suspension too much and show you some like actual evidence of it being bad. But yeah, this, again, maybe it was like this from factory, but this is a clapped out 13-year-old bike, and this rebuilt suspension is so miserable, and I hate taking it on the freeway. It's so bad. As we come back into the beautiful city of Long Beach, and you can see this lovely Ford F-150 taking up half the shot, there's really nothing better to own in Southern California than a motorcycle. You just never have to worry about traffic. You can lane split anywhere. I wasn't lane splitting much earlier just because I don't want to get too distracted. You really should be paying attention and not talking into a camera at the same time as splitting lanes, but owning something like this is just so easy here. I don't think I'll ever ride a motorcycle that I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't ride this in Southern California. You should ride it. You should just be riding a motorcycle here. And if that is if your budget's $3,000 and you want to go fast, if you have to go fast and your budget's $3,000, get a street triple. You know, go for it. It's going to be clapped out. It's going to be loud. It's going to be ratty and dirty like this one. But you're going to have a lot of fun, and it does sound really good. I do a lot of stupid stuff on this bike. Can't really do anything stupid on the Enfield I had because it's very slow. But this bike, you can get in a lot of trouble with. Some sick bikes over there. It's worth mentioning also, as I was talking about, like, commuting and living with it in Southern California, it's very small. This bike is tiny. I mean, even with that was false neutral, there's real neutral. Even with these crappy aftermarket mirrors, I mean, like, it's like shoulder width for me. This bike is so small. I think it's shorter in length than my wife's Honda CBR 300 which is crazy. This bike is tiny. I don't think you should ever put a passenger on here. Not too many tourists out today on a Monday afternoon. If you see that that curb over there, that's an apex for the Grand Prix. This is one of the straights here that they come down during the Long Beach Grand Prix, and then they turn over that way, which goes towards the fountain, which is pretty famous. One thing I do like about this, it's got crappy aftermarket whoop, right into neutral. There we go. See, I was whining about that gearbox. It's pretty clunky. I will say that the clutch, though, feels great. Will the bike actually shift when you have the clutch in? I don't know. I got a false neutral before, and then I shifted straight from first into neutral there. Yeah, you know, ratty old Triumph things. Another thing, this bike gets hot. The radiator and the fans all work. Well, I don't see any cracks. It doesn't leak coolant. I've flushed coolant, and oh man, this bike just runs hot. It is never overheated, even out in the desert in Joshua Tree, but it puts off so much heat, and it's just because that's that Daytona engine. It is brutal and wants to just rip all the time. I don't know why I'm waiting here at this light. There we go. It was a short one, that's why. But yeah, there's like a RPM range in first gear that you kind of either got to stay under or clear, or it won't shift right. It really hates going from first to second. As a lot of bikes in this class do. My R6 hated it. I don't know, 600s just don't like shifting like halfway through the rev range from first to second. I'll give it, yeah. Again, not fast, but in fourth gear, a little pull, it can get out of its way. Maybe it came through on camera there, but like that intersection's so bouncy on this terrible suspension. Yeah, so closing thoughts on this bike. I kind of already shared my thoughts, or concluded them. It's a $3,000 Triumph Street Triple. It's ratty. I'm sure you can find a nicer example. The consensus online seems to be either go for the generation after this one. This 2012 is the first one to have the not round headlights. But they only did that, I think, for 1 year, maybe 2, and then they gave the bike a total refresh where they kept the headlights, but it's like a different generation. So this bike is the same generation as all the way back to 2007. It just has a different face, and people hate that face. I think it's unique. It's weird and fun. So yeah, I don't know. It's striking. You see it and you're like, that's a street triple. A lot of people are really divided about the headlights. I don't really care. I think both are cool. But yeah, thank you all for watching. It occurred to me this isn't the most enlightening review unless you're looking for a ratty $3,000 Triumph Street Triple. But if you are, just know that this is probably what you're gonna get. It's gonna be fast, it's gonna be loud, and you're gonna shift into neutral all the time. Because 35-ish thousand miles, it's these kind of bikes don't live gentle lives. I don't know anyone who babies these except old guys. Not sketchy Russian guys you meet over in Van Nuys. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'll be back soon with another bike review. Hopefully it won't be another year. Au revoir.